I became a professional speed eater. That so many people would see me on Jay Leno's show, on the news, on, Al Roker or Katie Kirk or Diane Sawyer or whoever, I was in Playboy. I would walk into their living room and they're going, "Hey, you're that eating guy. You're the guy that ate all the hot dogs." So it was like a very easy, warm
Marketing.
lead marketing. And even on my card, it says, "My commission won't eat you out of house and home."
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, folks. Welcome back to the show. Today's guest is a Long Island-based realtor and works closely with investors to help people achieve their real estate goals. Please welcome Edward Jarvis. Edward, welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Good morning to you as well. East Coast time. I was in Texas last week, and now I'm in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. So we're now on the same time zone.
Nice.
I wanna ask you about getting into the real estate space. I think a lot of times people will often see where people are on the journey, but they won't see how they started. How did you get into the real estate space?
Actually, I had a girlfriend who was trying to buy a condo from this broker, and she says, if I go direct, I could save some money. I go, no, because the owner pays the commission. I think that's how it works. So I called the broker and I asked them, and as it turned out, I was building construction and I was doing cabinets at the time, and then it got slow. And I said, you know what? Maybe I go get my real estate license. I kind of like selling houses. I kind of like selling things that are related to houses because I feel like I've been working on them my whole life. So I got my license. I went to work for the guy that actually I broke up with the girl, and I went to work for him. In the first 6 months, I sold like, I don't know, few houses. And then the second 6 months, I sold 26 houses in 6 months.
So that first year you had sold a lot of houses in that first year. Were you anticipating that level of success, or was it shocking even to you?
I knew a lot of people, so I wasn't totally unaware. And, the more you got your name out there and people started feeling you, hey, I can help him out, whatever. But I got to tell you, people are not as loyal as they used to be because, like, people just do things and you're like, hello, what am I? What? I've helped you 500 times on 500 different projects, and you
And
don't
they go
even call me
somewhere
to sell
else.
your house. You put it up with some stranger and no financial gain to help him.
So was this pre 2008, post 2008? What time frame?
I'm in 34 years, so I'm in like back in the mid 90s, early 90s.
As far as market conditions back then, for people who might not be familiar, what was it like? Was everyone buying houses back then? Was it easier to get mortgages? What was the market like in Long Island?
The rates were like 10%. So they're like complaining about 6. And I'm like, 6.5 is not that bad. I got in, it was like over 13, I think. And at the time, they used to bring you a book to the office. It wasn't on MLS like a computer. And then when they went digital, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to get a laptop. My first laptop setup was almost $4,800 with a case and a printer and whatever to go. I go to a house and I got like an air thing and, for my computer, and they're looking at me like I got 7 heads. Wow, this guy's high tech. He's like, and that thing is like obsolete, looks like a dinosaur compared to how fast they are now.
I think when people talk about tech and so many different things. Right now, kind of the buzzword is
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
AI. A lot of times people will say, you know, what do I got to do to get integrated with AI, or how do I make my business revolve around, or what can I do to get better with it? But real estate is always, and I think forever, going to be a contact sport because people want to know the person that they're buying the home from. Was there anything in particular that you did that first year? I mean, 26 homes in the second 6 months that you felt like had a big impact in that first year.
I feel I just marketed myself well the first 6 months, but it took time to get a, groove of who to advertise to, places, locations. I was selling a lot of condos. At that time, I became the condo king the following year because every year after that, I was doing a minimum of between 35 and 70 condos a year. And then I was like, I got to get into the house market because it's a lot more money. So I started selling houses and investment properties, and I learned more about that. And then, I worked for a company that, Remax, and we do a lot of REO properties. So sometimes we have 200 houses in the pipeline waiting for eviction or, tenant occupied, sell them, whatever. So, it gets interesting, but it's, at least it doesn't get boring.
I want to ask you two different questions. First, you mentioned condos and then transitioning from condos to homes. But in an area like Long Island and the greater Long Island area, of course, real estate is going to be more scarce than in some other areas. When you're making that pivot and you're seeing, deal volume, are you thinking in your mind at that point in time, well, I'm still going to sell condos? Or are you
Oh
thinking
yeah, I
about,
didn't stop selling them. I just pivoted to add, more stuff. More, I always say when you go to the grocery store, the more you have, the more people buy, right?
that's right.
So it's like if you don't have it, they don't buy it, or they don't know you sell it, they don't buy it. So you have to be pretty much in every facet of real estate. So I've learned over the years I have somebody for everything. They call me the fix it guy because if they got a problem, I fix it.
And
I'm
then
like the lighthouse. I'm 6'6". I just guide them to where they want to go. Like, where do you want to go? Give me a gauge and I'll make it happen. I'll keep you off the rocks.
that's right. And then when you mention REO, real estate owned properties, the typical investor, I think, may have some exposure to this, but also may be more familiar with getting homes at the foreclosure auction, or maybe more familiar with finding properties on the MLS. How does this interface the REOs with investors, and how can investors, purchase REO properties? Is it always at the foreclosure auction?
No, because most of them, believe it or not, we get, a lot of them hit the steps and then get, the bank buys it back. So they basically go to the auction, they buy them back because they need the write off. So they get the write off from the Fed or whoever they get it from, and then they put it back on the market. So, and if sometimes they fix them, sometimes they don't. I prefer them not to fix them because then I get another house on the other end.
That's
You know,
right.
if they fix them, then I don't get the house on the other end. But I guess if there's a lot of room for them and they say, well, we're going to get penalized for not fixing it and we can make a lot more money, then they do.
I want to pivot a bit here, Edward, and ask you about scaling a real estate business to 70 deals a year. I think 30 is a lot. 30 would be 2 deals a month, a little bit more than that. 70, did you have a team working underneath you? How were you able to handle the deal flow, lead generation, managing the closings, managing issues that come up with buyers and sellers?
So 70 deals was all me. and, and I had nobody helping me paperwork wise. In those days, paperwork was a little easier than it is now. I feel like they've added a lot of paperwork. I mean, I
Yeah.
got to cut down a tree every time I go to do a deal. So I'll be happy when they make it all digital. Like, check the box, check the box. It's a little thing on an iPad and you can just check the box. That would be a lot easier. I'm sure there is something, but I just haven't learned it yet. But probably soon with AI, I'm sure it's going to be happening. But you know what happened was, I became in 2001 because it just seemed right as a professional speed eater.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Now, I've been out since 2008, but people still stop me on the side of the road. Aren't you that guy? Aren't you the guy that ate all the hot dogs and ate all the cannolis, ate 8 pounds of pasta?
I want to ask you about the speed eating world. So I grew up, Joey Chestnut, Takaru Kobayashi, Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Speed eating seems like a difficult game to be in. How did you get into speed eating?
You know, the funny part is, it's no worse than real estate. It's like anything else. You have to practice and be at the top of your game all the time. I said to my friend the other day, I go, listen, you think it was easy staying in the top 5% of Long Island that easily, Nassau, Suffolk County for agents? It's not that easy. Right now I'm at like 13, which I can't even believe, but I'm like, and there's just not as much listing. So otherwise I would be much higher. And the goal is by the end of the year to get back in the top 10%. So, but again, it's just timing. Everything's timing. If they drop the rate, my life would go back to normal.
That's
They
right. I
drop it.
think a lot of people are hoping for
They,
that.
I mean, they say in September, which is right around the corner. I pray that even if they drop it 0.5%, 1% to like 5.75, the market would go berserk. It would be back to normal, and I'd be happy again. Go to be busy, busy, busy. The busier I am, the happier I am, and I can give up to any paperwork.
I want to ask you about working with investors and being a realtor. So I'm a licensed realtor, newly licensed, previously wholesaler, and I still have a lot of passion for that space, although it's trickier to do it as a realtor now.
Yes.
In your perspective, and working with all the investors that you've worked with, do investors typically, by and large, have a strategy for times like this, or are they really on the sidelines more or less and waiting for conditions to change?
No, I think a lot of guys are on the sidelines because you can't afford to buy something and overpay, unfortunately. And a lot of these processes are going to end users now because they can buy it and they can get it fixed with a rehab loan, and they could put 75,000 into it, and now they own a house that's worth $75,000 investment, and it's still worth it because the prices are just there. But in the down market, it's a little more challenging because you can't put in 75,000 sometimes if you're underwater. So.
It's definitely one of those things. I think new builds, you were talking about this before hopping on here. New builds is where a lot of people are moving towards, and in Texas, which is what I can speak to, there's a lot of incentive for people to look at new builds, especially comparing it to a flip when the flip might be, $50,000 less. And you're thinking, well, if I can get more or less a new home versus the old, and the old is going to be 50,000, I might as well get the new. I want to pivot again here, Edward, and ask you about the competitive eating world, which I know very little about. How did you get into that? And then what were some of your favorite memories from that
So
game, right?
I was watching a competition on Food Network, and it was a matzo ball eating competition. I'm like, oh, that's right back in our neighborhood. So I was like, you know what? They do like 5 or 6 qualifiers, and they pick, each person gets picked from each location. Then they pick like 2 runner-ups from all the 6 locations. So I'm like, oh, Ben's Deli. I'm like, let's go check it out. So we go to one year. My wife happened to be Jewish. I happen to eat matzo balls. So I said, let me see how they eat them. So I was watching videotaping. And then I entered the one in Huntington Mall, and it was a Ben's Deli at the time. And so I tried it out. I ate like 8.5 matzo balls in 2 minutes and 50 seconds. They're half pound apiece. But I was like literally putting them in my mouth whole and swallowing them, which is not that easy because they're like concrete. So I'm like, and I lost. So I was like, all right, well, we'll look at the video, we'll practice, and then we'll learn how to eat them. So then I went to the same place and I picked up like 13, and I tried them, and I ate them much quicker because I was cutting them in half. So sure enough, I can eat them much quicker, cutting them in half. Boom, done. Problem solved. I go to the next qualifier. I win. I go to the finals. They give you 5 minutes, 25 seconds. I ate 13 matzo balls in 5 minutes, 25 seconds. But they only give you one bottle of water, which is a mistake because you need water to swallow stuff. And you're not going to like drink out of the bowl. That looks a little awkward
Yeah.
while you're on TV. That's pretty.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Pretty rude. So I'm like, what do I do? Right. You know, you run out of water, you run out of water, you got to figure it out. So, but the problem was I ended up going to overtime. But what they didn't show you was the other guy in his bowl, he had lots of debris, but they took his bowl away. But I saw it at a later date. That cost me $2,500 because I lost in overtime.
Oh
He-
no.
so I was like, "Oh, this sucks." I ate 6.5 pounds of matzo ball and I didn't even win, and I lose $2,500. So I had this guy come up to me and he got a corncob hat on. I'm like, "Who the hell is this guy?" You know, he was like an announcer or whatever. And he's like, "Kid, you have an agent." I'm like, "For what?" And he's like, "For eating." He goes, "There's a circuit of eaters." Really? You mean I've been eating for free all these years? He goes, "Yeah, there's a circuit of eaters." Really? Yeah, sign me up because I want to beat that guy every time he comes out. And guess what? That guy never beat me again. And I made sure I punished him at all angles. I think I won like 13 events after that one event out of 15.
No kidding.
And the two that I lost by literally ounces. So
And
close.
so as a competitive eater, I've seen so many different like physiques in the competitive eat. And again, I know very little about it, but I've seen people who are like ultra ripped up and muscular. And then I've seen people who look like they're not training athletically. Is there an ideal like regimen for competitive?
They say the thinner guys have an advantage, but I got to tell you, in those days, I was kicking everybody's behind, and I was like, just taking them to town because I was a big dude and I had plenty of room, and I told them I was hungry and focused, and I didn't come here to wave at the crowd. I came here for the win.
What was it like at that point in time? I mean, you mentioned people were coming up to you, recognizing you. Did you know at that point that it was going to be a great marketing funnel, or was it something you just enjoyed doing and it just happened to
It
be
was,
kind of a great
it,
opportunity?
it's funny because I put my kids through college with my eating career. So that money basically paid for 2 bar mitzvahs. It paid for 2 years of college for each kid. It actually paid for a third and fourth year for my daughter. And my son, not so much, but I got the first 2 years. So now I'm, paying for the last 2 years. But, it was a lot of money. It's a lot of
Yeah.
money. Some months I'd make $12,000 and I get free passage all over the country. I was getting flown to Florida, to Las Vegas, free trips, free whatever. It was a fun gig. Hey, by the way, you're going to be on Jay Leno on Thursday. Cool. I'm like,
That's
hey, you're going to
amazing.
be you're going to be in Playboy. What's the odds?
Yeah,
I had a two. I said to my friends, I got a 2-page spread in Playboy. What does that mean exactly?
well, yeah. How did this happen? Right. This is
I got a
amazing.
full-page picture of me. They went up, they photo shooted me in Chicago. I'm in with Carmen Electra's issue, which is amazing, right? I love Carmen
Yeah.
Electra. Recently, I bought her signed bathing suit, and I'm going to frame it with my article because I just think it's appropriate to, put the two of them together.
Yeah, I can't. It's amazing where life takes us, right? I mean, you talk about the competitive eating, you talk about flying all over the country, putting your kids through school. I mean, where can folks go if they want to reach out to you, or if they maybe have a deal they want you to look at, or if they're looking at homes in the Long Island area?
They can call me at 631-580-7634. They can also email me at bigedhomes@hotmail.com.
Edward, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.